Hello and welcome back. I am trying my best not to include my uniform in this video. This video does not, um, it does not relate to the military at all, and the military is not to be represented by this video. Just to let everybody know, this is me, Marius. I am speaking to my kids and any viewers out there that wanted to take a peek too. Anyways, while I sit here and get ready to go in, I mean, it's really not crazy to get ready. I just gotta do my hair, make sure my shit's sparkling, you feel me? Excuse my language. You know, it ain't nothing too bad though. It's just a word, you feel me? Don't let words hurt you. Anyways, yeah, what I want to talk about today is just, I just want to say a little bit about me. Like, this is a little bit about me. This is who I am as a person and some struggles that I've had and some successes. So, a little bit about me is I am 22 years old. I was born on the East Coast, and I love to play video games that excite me. I love talking, I love interacting with people, and I love making jokes because, you know, I'm naturally funny, right? So, on top of that, what I want to add is that I have some failures in my life. All right, we'll start off with the failures so that we get all the bad stuff out the way first. Some failures I've had are, you know, not really listening, being hard-headed. I mean, now I listen. Being hard-headed, not asking for help, self-control. Self-control is a big one. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have a hard time with self-control. What else? Distractions, for sure. And staying consistent. With staying consistent, it has to do with work. Another thing that can be considered a failure is my mood. You know, I'm here and there. Sometimes I'm 100%. Sometimes I'm 0. I'm happy a good amount of the time. And then, you know, I have these plummets where that really affects my consistency, my work quality, and a plethora of things, my interactions, my relationships, and, you know, it affects the people that I love most. It affects my coworkers, my colleagues. It affects my children. It affects a whole lot of people, a whole lot of things, and it sucks. Another failure that I've had was school and the people I chose to hang around. I chose to hang around people that were not good for me. At a young age, I smoked. You know, I had a vape. I've had a cigarette or two. And a cigarette came from, you know, nicotine addiction, like vaping addiction, like vaping specifically within nicotine addiction. I've had dip before. I've had Black and Mild. I've smoked weed. Terribly addicted to weed. when I did smoke weed. What else? Drinking is a problem. And it almost feels as though I have this weird pit. This weird pit where I often feel as though something has to be filling that pit. Whether it's drinking, whether it's poor self-control with sexual activities, whether it's playing a game or just something. It's just an empty slot that needs to be filled with something that I do continuously and that is like negative. It'll have a positive effect on me, but because of the consistency, it's negative. Like the consistency it's a stagnant variable. It always has to be there. It always has to be consistent. And that consistency has to lead to negative outcomes, but a positive feeling towards me. So say playing the game 24/7. It's taking time away from me doing my homework, taking time away from me with my family, taking time away from me doing chores or drinking or smoking or doing whatever. But I mean, I don't smoke because I'm in the military. Going forward, I want to bring up some successes that I've had. Some successes are I've passed a really difficult tech school known as JCAC, the Joint Cyber Analysis course. It's not the hardest in the military, but it's quite difficult. I'm trying to think what another success is. I quit nicotine. I'm about, I think I officially quit when I was 18. I was working at KFC still. This is another thing. I worked at KFC for quite a while. But I successfully quit nicotine, even though, I do have cravings here and there. But yeah, I quit nicotine. I'm about 4 years sober off of nicotine. I'm back in college, about a year away from my degree, my bachelor's degree. Another success is, I'm making these videos. I'm trying to become better, right? I've always put some effort, if not majority effort, into making myself better. It's always been about making myself better. And it's hard. Another success I've had was my family. 22, married with 2 kids. I'm happy, man. Even if it doesn't seem like it, I'm happy, right? There's other things in this world within me that affect my mood. Sure, if my son does something that angers me or upsets me, or maybe my daughter, sure, I'm gonna be upset for like a few minutes or so. Maybe like a few hours. But eventually I'll cool down. Right? I had some great examples for successes, but I can't think of it, Failures I've had have been speeding, poor financial decisions. When I was 18, or no, 17, I got my first car. My dad bought it for me. It was a 2004 Acura TSX. He bought that bad boy for me. Most beautiful car I've ever had. Blacked out the windows, you know, had to. The 5% all around except for the windshield. And speeding hit me, right? Lived in Washington State, and it's terribly wet over there. Went speeding, went up a hill, went down a hill. Didn't know that there was a pit of water, but there was a sign ahead, and I just couldn't read, or I was just too arrogant, too hard-headed to listen and slow down. By the time I tried slowing down, it was already too late. I hit the water. All I seen was water all around the car. I did a 180 and ended up in a pit full of water. The car was, it was afloat, but it was afloat. Half of the car was underwater. Long story short, my dad and we got it up and working again, but when I was in tech school in Florida, the alternator and the battery, I'm pretty sure either one of those connections or both of those connections started tweaking out, and the car started to become unusable. I would drive it for a little bit, and then the battery would die. Would change the alternator, battery would still die, made sure the battery was recharged and everything, battery would still die, and then my dumb ass decided, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna plug the jumper battery into the battery. I'm gonna leave the hood a little bit open because I had to, in order to drive home. And the battery had to be connected to the jumper battery. Going down the hill, the wind was coming my direction. A gust of wind hit. Boom. You can already, I didn't even have to say anything. Like the hood came back, hit the windshield, cracked it. Had the car towed back home. This is when I'm living with my wife, or with your mom, and with you. Autumn wasn't born yet. But yeah, windshield got cracked, got the car towed home, sold the car for $900. And, that's something, I don't regret it because we needed the money at the time due to bad financial decisions. Make sure to read your contracts when you sign a lease, because the rent is gonna be due before that month ends. Just remember that the rent is due before the month ends. So save that money, because on the 1st they're gonna ask for it, unless you move in, I think, some part of the month. I think it's towards the end. I think what they did for me, they prorated it, and so I only paid those days, and then the start of that month I had to pay, and I was like, wait a second, I'm confused. Am I paying for next month? And yeah, just make sure that you have at least twice or 3 times the rent and the deposit on top of that before you decide you want to rent out a home. Make sure you have money for what is it called? Furniture. Absolutely. Make sure you have money for furniture. Man, I ran that credit card up. $5,000 on a credit card. Gone in less than a week. Credit cards. Be smart with your credit cards. Do not rely on your credit cards. Rely on cash. if that's still a thing when you're older. Rely on cash and coins, because credit cards will ruin you. Credit cards will ruin you. I don't know how many times your mom and I have went into credit card debt, and her parents had to help us out. I mean, they didn't have to, but they did. And I really appreciate them for that. I'm very bad with emotions, but I'm really hoping that they understood my thank you in the fact that they helped us out so much. They paid off the Challenger, which I had wanted to get into. I got a Dodge Challenger RT, 375 horsepower, $16,000 before the Acura was even paid off or sold. I got this car when I was 19? No, 18. Because you weren't even, Kyrie, you were not even 1 year old. Your mom and I were having troubles, man. We were on and off. That's a whole nother story. We were having troubles, and it was about a month into us having troubles. I was like, you know what? I'm ready. I'm finna pull the trigger on this bad boy. I kind of manifested it. I was drawing pictures of it. I was saying, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this every day. I was praying for it. And I think that's what caused your mom and I to have a split, is because apparently when you manifest, it takes something away from you. Whatever you want, you have to exchange something for it, like a sacrifice. And sure, I got the car. I removed the muffler and the resonator, got it loud as hell, heard the clap of the 8 cylinders. But that wasn't enough for me, man. You know, I cried so hard in that night. I had the car. Thought I was going to be happy just because I had a Challenger faster than all my friends' cars. That's for damn sure. $300 some payment, $400 insurance. It was $400 payment, $400 insurance. I'll tell you just like that. $392 a month for that car. And I was working part-time at a warehouse. $21 an hour. What is it? I was working 26 to 32 hours. I was working part-time. They caught me working 32 hours. So they had to reduce it to 26. I think it was 28. But yeah, not good stuff, man. I was crying in that car. I was wishing for your mom back, and something had to happen. You know, I got a wide body kit. I got the tail lights for the car. I was looking at the headlights, and then one day when I was driving with you, Kyrie, we got into an accident. Like I said, Washington is really wet. We were driving on the highway, and we were merging. I was doing the speed limit. I know this because I merged behind a truck. I remember seeing a purple Challenger. I was like, man, that's nice. It's a nice Challenger. I merged onto the freeway on the way to Lacey, or Sleater Kinney. I was on the way to Sleater Kinney, Lacey, and that was coming from your mom's house, going towards the mall to Capitol Mall in Olympia. We merged. We were going to Target. I was like, hey, I can either go to the Target, or I can go to the Target by the mall, or I can go to the Target in, Sleater Kinney, Lacey, or off of Sleater Kinney. Anyways, we get behind the truck, and there's like the little snake path of water. We hit one of those, and because of my poor financial decisions, once again, had bad tires. We hydroplane, we do another 180, we slide into the median of the freeway, and car's totaled. You know, I turn around, I'm like, Kyrie, are you okay? You cry for like 10 seconds and then you stop. You just stare at me. I'm like, is it because the accident woke you up? Is that the only thing? Some lady comes out of her car. She's like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Do you need a hug? I'm like, no, I just want to make sure my son is okay. I check out the car, and yeah, that's when I end up leaving. I start the car, you know, it's still drivable. It's totaled cosmetically, or it's totaled because of the cosmetics. The frame was damaged and everything. Got out the car. We got out the way. We had to do a U-turn on the freeway. Some embarrassing shit, bro. But yeah, it was bad. Got home to your mom. I was telling her, I was like, man, this and that. Tried calling insurance, but I decided to cancel the insurance about a week or two in advance to that accident, which is stupid of me. But yeah, just to go back a step, I still feel like manifestation has something to do with it, because your mom and I were still, you know, we were still going through it, but we were coming back together. And I feel like me totaling that car had saved us, because we started talking more, we started getting back together, and then I left for the military after you turned 1 year old. I left for the military 9 days after your first birthday, and man, that was the most painful shit ever. But yeah, I guess I'll talk about tech school and whatnot after today. But thank you for listening to this story, or these stories. But yeah, I mean, I made some really good friends in Washington. KFC, I got plugged in by my buddy Henry. And yeah, man, I mean, I got a whole lot more stories to tell you, so, and your sister. So I hope you guys watch these. I hope you guys are able to learn from my mistakes and go from there. Thank you for watching. I love you. And I'm gonna hit you with another story. We're either gonna talk about Henry and the friends, or we're gonna talk about the car and going forward to tech school and some other mistakes I've made. So yeah, I'll see y'all then. Love you, bub. Mwah.